Hello and welcome to the Daytime Emmys 2021 nomination special here on JLJ Media. I'm James Lott Jr. The JLJ of JLJ Media. I'm going to go ahead over the chat room. We did some of these last year. You guys liked them for some reason. We're missing one person, Lucretia Lyon, but she may be here for the next one. But you guys like these, so I thought let's bring them back and bring back the panel that you liked. So I'm bringing them back on here. We have two people who know all about the industry, and that's why I like them. They know they're very well rounded in the industry. Walker Ragsdale and Gerry Waggett. Hi, you guys.
Hello.
Hey, James.
Hey. It's been a year. Oh, look at that. That's crazy. I was wondering what they're going to do with this Emmy thing, so I'm glad they're going forward. Even though it's a little later than usual. It's in June, towards the end of June. Kind of crazy. But I was wondering.
I think it's good that it happened in June because I believe it will be in person, and I do believe that there will be a carpet.
Oh, you think so? Okay.
Yeah, I do.
I'm wondering because I'm waiting because I want to apply for it. If there's a carpet, I want to go. So hopefully they will.
But they won't announce until a week before.
That's very true. Oh my God, we had so much fun the last time we all did together. Okay, so people are coming in. Hello, hi, 5 Diaz. I miss you too. Rodelli, Kenneth's coming. Everybody's coming in. Come on in. The water's fine. I'm gonna do a little church announcements. We are JLJ Media. Since the last time I started, it's now an online network. That's what I created this last year. Since there is no more AfterBuzz TV, it's just James Lott Jr. now doing this stuff, and I'm giving you all kinds of little shade there too. I'm giving all kinds of content. I have 35 shows ranging from Star Wars soaps. I know the soaps. To being left-handed and grandparenthood, all here on JLJ Media. Also, I have 11. I counted them the other day. 11 audio dramas. They're all running. 10 of them written by me and directed by me. One Forever and a Day done by Casey Hutchinson and Candace Mack. All 11 are doing very well. They're on my channels, and they're all easy to listen to. They're on every streaming service you can think of, from iHeartRadio, Spotify. People think, why are you tired, James? Oh, this is why I'm tired. This is what I did last year. And on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, all over the place. Just look for JLJ Media or dramas like Forever and a Day, Mistletoe Road, Claws the Series, The Easter Hare, Cousins, Mama's Mess. Oh my God, Cupid's Crossing, Fairview Heights, Manchester, all of them. Like I said, 10 of them written, directed, and produced by me. So they're all out there too. So we're producing our own soaps at the same time on our own channels. And some people in the chat room are on my shows. So go ahead and check those out also if you want to hear a soap opera instead of watching one. And then, of course, I do my Sunday soap block. I do Y&R, Bold and Beautiful, and General Hospital every Sunday here on JLJ Media. And we support the place that I got started from, Dish and Days. They do theirs on Sundays also on their channel, which is Dish and Days. So go Dish and Days. Make sure you support my sisters over there. I would not be here if it wasn't for the OGs, Tony Moore and Mark J. Freeman. I would literally not be here. So I always support them. They do days. And also I do the Dallas show. Yeah, you know them. I do the Dallas show.
We love Tony.
We do love Tony. We do love Tony. We love Tony Moore. That's my buddy. I talk to him every day. That's my buddy. Hello, everybody. Come on in. Hello. I do the Dallas after show, and I also do the Falcon Crest after show. Those are out also. And I have my friends who do the Knots Landing one. So that's Casey Hutchinson do the Outstanding Rewatch. Follow them there. It's all the soaps I can tell you guys. But just follow, subscribe, like, comment.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm tired, you guys. I've done a lot.
AfterBuzz who?
Exactly. That's all in the past now. My credits now don't include that anymore. So here we go. We're gonna talk about the Emmys. We're gonna talk about what's going on with the nominee. We're gonna talk this the soap. There's like 120 different categories. I'm doing all that, kids. We're doing all the soap related ones. I'm going to comment and also give our predictions like we did last year. You guys in the chat, you have predictions too. Let us know. Let me know what your predictions are on the subjects. But there were some changes. But also here's the main thing. They are from calendar year. So from January to December. What I want to ask you both about, there was only one soap that had original programming the whole year. So do you think that affected who got nominated this year? Because there's some nominations you're like, really? But do you think because those three soaps didn't have shows for most of the year? I'll start with you, Walker. What are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think it affected at all. Because if you look, GH, who was off for 2 or 3 months, has the most nominations, and Days barely had any. So no, I don't think it affected.
Okay, Gerry, what do you think?
I don't think so either. Because for one thing, since we've gotten so far away from when the soaps were off for those couple months, you can forget that they were off for a couple months and Days was still on. So no, I don't think it had any effect. I think they just looked at what was there.
Okay, I agree with that. You guys tell me in chat what you believe we think. Hello, Candace Mack, tell me you agree the same thing. So we're gonna go into nominations. I'm gonna start with some of the smaller ones. I should say smaller, but the ones these are the hierarchy. So I want to mention first. I want to mention this one. Those are bigger. I'll wait for that. Okay, we'll start with this one because I do my brain is kind of thinking like why for one nomination. Outstanding guest performer in a drama series. The nominees are Kim Delaney as Jackie Templeton on General Hospital, George Del Toro as Orpheus on Days of Our Lives, Brianna Lane as Brooklyn Ashton on General Hospital, Katie McLean as Jennifer Horton Devereaux on Days of Our Lives, and Victoria Platt as Dr. Amanda Rayner on Days of Our Lives. My one thing is like, really, Dr. Rayner? I mean, like she was on for a couple of days. I mean, no offense to the actress, obviously. I mean, she did a fine job. But I'm like, oh, okay. Love Katie. Thought she did a great job. I thought Brianna did a decent job as Brooklyn. I love Amanda better, but I did think she held up for what she had to do. George Orpheus is Orpheus. Kim Delaney wasn't on a lot either. I mean, they made a big hoo-ha about her. Then I know she was filming some other stuff, I think, but like they had her on. I guess she was fine. So I want to know what you guys' thoughts are on the nominations for this guest performance.
Okay, what is the breakdown? Because I'm looking at who's on the guest performer list, and I'm like, what are the number of days? Because I would have sworn that Katie McLean should have been, just treated like a regular performer on the show. And the same thing with Brianna Lane. My feeling, though, is, I mean, I really liked Kim Delaney when she first got on, but they have so spaced out her appearances, it's kind of almost irritating. Is she going to be there or not? And as my buddy Scott and I are always talking, why has she been absent during Chase's whole ordeal? Her and Gregory Harrison.
Yes.
So I would give it to, I think she's going to win it because she's got like the biggest marquee name, and they do like to give the marquee name player the daytime guest performer Emmy. But if I had picked one from that list of who really invested, I'd give it to Katie McLean as Jennifer.
Okay, but what's your prediction? Which one? Who you hanging?
I predict Kim Delaney.
Okay, so that's going to be Gerry. Okay, Walker, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to echo a lot of what Gerry was saying. That I was looking, Brianna and Katie definitely should have, but you know what? They did the same thing with Kate Manzi, I think last year.
Yes.
Well, I was like, well, they might as well just put Kate back in. If you're a recast, I need to look up that rules. I should have did that before. But my prediction, I'm going with Katie, because even though Kim has the name, I think of the voting block, Katie has more peers still voting. And sometimes the voting people maybe aren't too thrilled about primetime people coming in and taking daytime jobs. So I'm giving you the political answer. Yeah, Katie.
Well, it's funny. Both you guys make up good points. I'm like, because those are my two top choices too. I think Victoria's not going to get it. Because I mean, last year it was Renee Watson, right? And it was Max Gale who got it. But they had the Alzheimer's storyline to back that up. That people like that one. And I know Renee is also very well liked in the industry. She's also a coach, a teacher. So I agree with you when it comes to voting. You're like, oh, okay. It's like some of it, part of it is a popularity contest on who decides to vote together. Kim and Katie both have the best pedigree, obviously, the two. So I gotta choose. This is like crazy because I mean that's because I can see it going either direction. I'm gonna go. I have to choose. So I'm gonna go with. They don't like Daisy. It's like Daisy doesn't win enough stuff. I'm gonna go with Kim Delaney. With Katie with a close second. I can see her winning also. But Daisy would always win. They don't even guest performers. They don't seem to win a lot. So I don't know. I don't know what that's about. Okay, so do that. Okay. The next one I want to talk about is Oh, this is the one. Oh, let me look at chat room first. Okay, people are saying Kim or Katie. Most of them are saying that also. Eva LaRue won last year. Oh yeah, Eva LaRue did win it last year. It was the year before Vernay won. Yeah, you're right. She won. Okay, oh, that's right. Vernay actually won support. That's what it was. Vernay won supporting actress, didn't she? Was it some weird
She won
thing?
supporting after she won. She was guest performer 1 year and then came back and won supporting actress.
Right. So you're right. So Walker's right. This is weird. Like, what does that mean? And I agree with you guys saying that if you're a recast, I guess you're a guest, so to speak, but you're not. You're a main character. If you had a lot of airtime, I mean, because Brianna was on the whole time. She was on for a long time. I mean, she was on, and Katie was on too.
And they drove story. So
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I kind of, people are saying Brianna. Somebody said Brianna. Okay. So that's why it's a little confusing, right? Because Vernay won it for guest, then she won it for supporting actress. But was she a guest also? Or, I mean, it's just kind of, that's kind of, okay. The next one I want to talk about is outstanding younger performance, which is bugging the shit out of me. I'm sorry for my language, but I decided to combine both categories into one. Now, it's not like there's not enough people they could do for each. There's enough to be nominated. Also, I remember the problem before was nominating small children with 25-year-olds. That was a whole big thing for a while too. Like, how do they compare? You know, some of those little actors are really good and better than some 25-year-olds. But how do you guys feel about this combine? Why they about them? Do you not mind? I mean, how they combine both? What do you guys think?
Well, I thought that they combined them partly to keep the award show shorter. But I think, no, they each deserve their own category. If you're going to combine them, like you combine guest performer, well, then combine best actor and actress into one, best performer, best supporting, Right. But the younger people, they should be separate categories, to widen the field.
Yeah, kind of weird. I know. Walker, what do you think?
See, I guess I'm the opposite. I think it's good. Right. I don't think they needed two younger. It becomes more of a filler, and it's to me, if you're giving out for the younger, then you're just giving kid who plays so and so who we see 5-6 times a year a nomination. It's a little participation trophy for me. So if you combine those two, then it's the best of the best.
Well, all righty. Well, there you go. Well, I felt there were some snubs because there wasn't enough people to get in it because they combined them. So my thought, okay, so here are the nominees. Maybe the nominees first. Here are the nominees for you. Taj Below as TJ Asford. Victoria Conifal as Sierra Brady. Olivia Ali Lind as Faith Newman. Caitlin McMullen as Willow Tate. And Sydney Michaela as Trina Robinson. I'm sorry, I don't know where my Eden McCoy is. I actually liked William Lipton's performances last year. I feel like there were a few that I just kind of felt like they're going to do younger. I even like little Henry Samry who was on Bold and Beautiful. I thought he did a great job for most of his scenes. So for me, I felt like there should be two categories, but I like that there's difference. So I like there's a difference on here. But from this grouping, my first reactions are Caleb McMullen, really. Taj Below, no problem. I mean, I have no against him, but like again, almost like Kim Delaney and them, they're not on enough for me to like, TJ and Molly were barely on last. I mean, they were barely on. But people like Victoria Conifal, people like Alvia from what they were on. I mean, they were on. They had major story. They were good, And Sydney Michaela, I love her. I love her attitude. I love her as Trina. I think she is great. So I'm kind of those three I see. The other two I feel like you can swipe them out and put people in. So I'll start with you, Walker, this time. From this grouping, how do you feel about this?
I don't hate this list.
Okay.
There was a couple of people who I thought, but then I went and checked the age, and they are older than the 25. No, I don't mean to shade. I mean, I guess it's good because I thought Hunter King was young. I thought she was like at the cutoff.
Okay.
But she's 27. I was like, oh wow, because I thought she should have been.
Yes, another snub. Yes,
but since she's not, I don't have a problem. If we only could have one of those GH babies, then the right one got in, and that's all I'll say.
But which one got in? You said you're going to have one of them, but two got in.
Well, actually, 3 got in. I mean, but of the babies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, no, she did. I agree with you. Yeah, with that one.
If we could only have one of the babies, the strongest one got in.
I agree. Period. Okay, I see what you're saying. I agree with you. Give me a second. I'm just pretty, not smart. Got it. Yes, got it. Yes. Again, like I was saying, Gerry, it's all about also screen time. So I'm just like, especially with Taj below. I mean, great, nice guy, I'm sure, and everything that's fine when he's on. But again, he wasn't on. And I mean, they try to make us care about him and Molly in their non-wedding civil. They never really showed the relationship. So how do you feel about this list? Also, how do you feel about this list?
Yeah, Taj Bello. I was thinking, again, how many days is the cutoff? How does Katie McLean, a guest performer, and Taj Bello in a non-guest performer role? Again, I like him. He's a decent guy. He comes across well, but he also didn't have, he was almost more of a prop in a lot of the storylines between Cyrus and the police commissioner Ashford. So I would not, put him in there. I miss Eden McCoy and William Lipton the list, but Cindy McKayla as Trina. My buddy and I always talk about. First off, she gives one of the most realistic performances as a teenager. I mean, she's angry at times. She is heartbreaking at times, and also all of the craziness that goes around her with the mob wars and all of this. She grounds a lot of it with her reactions and how this would trickle down to be if you were the best friend to the mob princess in town. And she nails it time and time again. I think, with Faith Newman's descent into drugs and alcohol abuse, etc., that was really good. And she was really good. Victoria Knaufel, even though she meets the age requirement, she just feels like she's in such an adult storyline, that it doesn't feel like she should be in the younger performer category. So I want to see Trina, Cindy McKayla win. And that's what I'm betting for. And with the actress who plays Faith Newman, a close second. And maybe a spoiler.
Okay. Yeah, I know. That's a good point about Victoria. Victoria really is like supporting actress, almost a lead this last year, because that storyline was huge. I mean, it was a huge. The sinners out there, I know them. I know how they are. Those sinners love that couple, and her and Rob Wilson really did have a lot of screen time last year, and they were on. So, and then coupled with my girl Hope and her leaving, and that whole storyline, and she's done a lot of stuff. I mean, and then she left, and she came back. There's a lot of stuff she was in. So. I agree. It's kind of weird that she said, but she's meets the age thing. But I mean, the Faith Newman story. I still love the Faith Newman story. I still love what's going on with that. I have to mention, because I mentioned this on another show the other day, about speaking about Trina and how realistic she is. I loved her conversation with Cameron. I know folks got mad because some black folks talked about some race stuff on the police on the show, and I was like, "Hello," but daytime does do topical issues. I thought it was actually wonderful to see Portia and Jordan talking about their kids and being black, and Trina going off on camera about how the situation would have been totally different if he had been a black. Because when that scene happened, I was triggered actually for a moment, because I was like, this is really crazy that they have all the guns on him. They're giving him a chance, but I was triggered actually watching the scene, and so I thought it was kind of cool they actually later on had just frank discussions about it on the show. And to me, it made sense. And so I want to give, but Trina was also part of that. So I want to make sure I'd say that. But I'm going to choose out of this group. Olivia. I'm going to choose Faith. I'm going to choose hers. I'm going to choose her. And Walker, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to go with her as well, just because YNR has a bigger voting block. But we also have to remember, and not that like you two know this, but you only have to submit episodes. So whereas the soap fans, we watch all year, so we know that Taj hasn't done much, but if Taj has 2 or 3 good episodes to submit, that gets him in. Like these other actors, they are not watching. They're not watching these shows. And they're barely watching the reels.
That's true. No, you're right. No, you're right about that. Gerry and I both know this. I mean, Gerry knows longer than we have. He knows all of this. I mean, you're right. No, you're right about that. And I try to keep that in mind when it comes to my picks. I try to come on thinking, okay, what did they pick for their reel? I'm thinking their whole storyline. What if they pick this and this? They'll probably win. That's my whole thing. It's like you're right. One performance, one episode can totally make you win.
But it's I don't know why they stopped giving us the synopsis or letting us know what they submitted beforehand. I guess they thought they were giving us too much detail, and I don't know. But that kind of makes it hard to pick.
I agree.
Because we may think, oh my gosh, they had this amazing scene, and the actor may not have submitted that scene. They may have went with something else.
That's true. I mean, Gerry, you know all about this. You wrote books on this stuff, so you know how that is good.
Yeah. And the other thing I was just wondering is, was William Lipton, because that seemed like such a huge, oversight. Is he being punished for his announcement that he's leaving the show, or?
I think maybe he submitted something that was over the top, and people were like, "Oh no, this," because it borderlines. That's all I'll say. I'm trying to leave David alone.
He's had some performances recently. I was like, okay, a little much, but he has had some. To me, he's had some great performances, though. I mean, he's had some.
I think next year, if he the finding out about Franco with Liz, that was his best work. So I think next year he should be on this list.
And also, if he puts himself next year, the head shaving scene.
That was good too. I did. That was good too. That was good. So I agree with that. Okay. Now we're going into the little larger categories. Make sure I have them all correct. Supporting, there we go. Do supporting actor. I haven't watched it yet. I know that that Y&R did another tribute to Neil. They tied in some stuff with Christophe St. John, of course, and the whole thing. I heard it was good. I haven't watched it yet, so I want to just make sure that was today. I miss Christophe all the time. Okay, a lot of people were saying, for that last category, a lot of people were saying either Sydney, Victoria, or Allie. Let's see. Okay. Somebody says we have to remember that some actors don't want to submit, like Eric Marksoff from Days didn't submit. I know there's some actors who don't submit. I know some actors don't believe in competition; they don't do it.
I mean, what? He ain't got nothing to submit.
Yeah, I know. I was like, I love Eric.
He also has an Emmy already.
He already has an Emmy. He's good.
Yeah.
He's good. Okay, outstanding performance by a supporting actor in a drama series, and the nominees are Darren Brooks as Wyatt Spencer, Max Gale as Mike Corbin, Brighton James as Devon Hamilton, Jeff Korber as Cyrus Renaud, and one of my favorites, James Patrick Stewart as Valentine Cassadine. So my immediate reaction, of course, to me, Valentine a lot of times saves a lot of storylines just because the way he's such a dynamic actor who can do drama, comedy, just you can throw him anywhere. He kind of has everybody. I kind of like Cyrus Renaud. I kind of like that he's kind of smarmy and always kind of lurking around, making comments, and when he has scenes with Jeannie Francis, and when she jumps when he yells at her, it's like oh my god, she's really scared of him. Brighton James always a solid choice. Max Gale we know already is because he died. I mean, it was that whole thing, and then Darren Brooks. So I'm going to start with you, Gerry, this time. As a supporting actor, what do you think about this list?
Jeff Korber. That's my choice, hands down. I think he is he's a malevolent presence. We have people who played villains, plenty of them out there. But there is something about, I think it's his stature, the way he looks. And I mean, this is a guy I've seen play vampires on TV shows like Buffy and The Kindred. Yes, but he scares me silly when he walks in the rooms. This is the most malevolent, and he is so scary. He's like everything, Sonny is the cuddly, mob boss. Cyrus Renaud is like malevolence personified, and I think he does an amazing job with it. And so he is my choice. I want him to win, and I think he's going to.
Wow. Well, he is, his character is very, I mean, it's very different than we've seen before in a while. So I thought, and linking him to Laura, I love the whole sibling thing. Him, Laura, and Martin Gray, I'm all in for it. I love it. I totally love it. Walker, what are your thoughts on this grouping?
Two snubs that popped in my head first.
Say it.
My two. One's going to surprise you. I think William DeVry should have been on this list.
Oh no, I'm not. He was amazing as this downward spiral. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and because that baby swap and the fallout of that was all last year as well. So I think he should have been on there, and I think Brandon Brass should have been on there for what he was able to do. What he's done with Jake in such a short period of time, I had to think like, wait. Jake's been on for a couple. No, Jake came on last year, and he has had So those two are my snubs. I think they should have been in here. Brighton, I feel like he's the NAACP checkbox. We don't want them mad at us, so let's keep him on to get a nomination. But as far as winners go, I'm going with James Patrick Stewart.
Oh.
Because he is loved. He is loved in the industry. Everyone loves him. So
that's true. I love him. He's great. I love him. He's great. His wife is a pressure organizer, actually. So yes, and for me, a snub, and I'm sure I know Walker doesn't agree with this, I'm sure. But my snub to me was Matt Atkinson. I'm sorry. I think the material they gave him. Tell me, Walker, what do you think then?
He was actually my snub for lead because I felt like he drove Bowden beautiful.
You're right. You're right. No, you're right.
So he is actually on my little list here. I have, I'll bring him.
Then I'm gonna hold it to for lead. I'm gonna go. You're actually right. He actually was lead. Okay, never mind. So so I'll go through the stuff they had because I agree. I'm actually like, man, okay. So I got to choose. Shit, I got to choose. Okay. See, Max Gale, he died. I mean, it was a whole. I mean, our voters sentimental?
Are they going to give it? But they're going to give him the same storyline, an Emmy for the same storyline 2 years in a row.
That's what I'm asking.
I don't think.
So they may not give it to him. I was trying to figure out what Darren Brooks did last year. Well, the flow stuff was the flow stuff.
The Sally illness. Stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I love Darren Brooks. Right, he has an Emmy already too. I love him, but I mean, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. Shit. I'm torn between both of you guys. You're both your choices. I think James Patrick Stewart's going to get it, even though I want Jeff Corbett to get it too. But I'm going to say James Patrick because you're right. He's very well liked.
This just comes down to who you like more, me or Walker.
I know. I was like, no, because the last one I chose both of Walker so far. I don't know, but you both can get good points. Good points. So I'm going to do that one. I want to win. No. Yeah. Okay. That's that one. So it'll be interesting. Okay. Outstanding performance by supporting actress in a drama series. And the nominees are Marla Adams as Dina Mergeron, Tamara Brown as Ava Vitale, Carolyn Hennessy as Diane Miller, Brianna Henry as Jordan Ashford, and Courtney Hope as Sally Spectra. So my overall thoughts, there are some, I've had some snubs in there. There's some people that should be in there. I always say this every year, and I feel like she makes mashed potatoes out of rotten potatoes. And she was put with somebody that I universally just hate. All my shows know I hate this character or whatever. But your buddy, our friend, Kirsten Storms. I felt Maxie should have been in there. And I think every year I never see her nominated for anything. She gets some of these interesting storylines, but she commits to them fully. And I know she do some stuff right now that I think is really actually interesting too. I don't know where I feel like she should be on here. Brianna Henry's funny because I didn't like her, to tell you the truth. I was a huge Vanessa Antoine fan. It took me a long time. But there was one scene that won me over last year. And that could be part of the thing she turned in. It was her and Cyrus, when she finally had the upper hand. She goes, you need to go handle your mommy issues. And gave attitude back to him finally. And he was shaking in his boots because she stood up to him. But, oh, okay, here we go. I was like, okay, I'm there. I think she's a lovely person, I'm sure, but I just was never warmed up to her. But I kind of like her more now with her and Curtis breaking up, and I kind of like, oh, now I'm seeing some more stuff with her. I kind of like her. My girl Kim is my friend. I'm trying to figure out what scene she turned in to get nominated for last year. I'm trying to figure out what that is. Tamara Brown's always good. She's always good. And Marla Adams, of course, again, she died. She has the Alzheimer's storyline. It was beautiful. The last episodes were beautiful. They were really, I was crying a baby. They were beautiful. So I don't know. So you guys, I'll start with Walker this time. What do you think of this whole grouping?
I like that there's new blood. I like that there's Brianna and Courtney because they have not been, this first time. So it's good to see that there's new blood in. Carolyn Hennessy is the quintessential supporting, but I think, if we're just doing the guests, I would have maybe put her in the guests. I don't know. Again, because I have almost 5. I have 4 women who I feel like that are snubs. So
Emily O'Brien.
I had Judy Evans.
Oh yes.
I had I feel like if Brighton is getting something with probably dealing with Amanda, why is Michelle not on here? And Marla did good, but I would have maybe had Beth Maitland instead of Marla. So I would have swapped those out. And I don't think Tamara should have been on here. Not supporting because
what do you think, Gerry?
Well, in terms of snubs, one of the people who, in addition to Emily O'Brien, I definitely thought should have been on the list here is Lisa LoCicero for last year.
She was good too.
They gave her such a range of things between the romantic troubles with Ned and then the action adventure with Robert Scorpio, and she plays that sort of infatuation with him extremely well. But I'll tell you, the scene that really she should have won it for was when she was sitting outside Dante's door, begging him to open the door at the clinic and just let her see him. That was heartbreaking. And I really thought that scene alone should have got her on the list. Given the list here, Carolyn Hennessy, love her as Diane, but I didn't see her do anything last year we haven't seen her do from the beginning. She does it well, though. Tamara Brown, I feel like she almost got the nomination because she won last year, and it kind of was like a rollover effect. And Courtney Hope, I always like and kind of fun as Sally, but I always confuse. I'm thinking, okay, I thought she was more on Y&R than B&B last year, but I couldn't quite remember what the breaking point was. But I'm going to say Marla Adams. I thought that she should have got a couple of years ago when it was the onset of the Alzheimer's storyline, and I thought that she should have got then. But I say give it to her now, and also like sometimes it's not just a career capping moment, but she did a really good job with that scene, and it was heartbreaking when she was dying and the beautiful death and all of that. Yeah, I would say that's my choice is going to be Marla Adams.
Okay. I think that's actually not far off. I think they like that stuff. They were saying Brittany should have been nominated. People were saying
who?
They're saying Brittany Sarpy.
Child, y'all don't stop that mess. See,
several folks are saying it in the chat. Several folks are saying it.
Okay, well.
I love Walker. I love it. They're saying, Carolyn supported Alexis to the drinking story. But is that? You're right. She didn't do anything extra different. Like Walker said too. She's a quintessential supporting character. Like she comes in, does her job, and she's good. She's dynamic to look at. I love her to death. But I'm like, was that enough? I don't know. I don't know about that. I don't know either. They agree with you about Lisa LoCicero. They agree with you about that. Misha Morgan with Rob. They agree with that. People think it's down to Marla and Courtney. Courtney had some good scenes when she was caught. And she was just talking about how she just wanted her man, and I believed her. I was almost on her side. Kind of, it was outrageous. She said she was dying and everything, but she was desperate. I thought she did it pretty well. I was kind of just like, I get it, girl. I don't know. I thought she did some good stuff. So I'm going to ask Walker, which one are you choosing?
This is a hard because I thought Marla won also before. Didn't she win? Like,
She was nominated, but she didn't win.
Didn't win.
I don't. Okay, this is we're talking about soaps. Soaps supposed to be fantasy world. It's not real life. So I'm prefacing this what I'm about to say. I don't know if people are going to have Alzheimer's fatigue. If like, oh, here we got this guy. Oh, then we got this one. There's people going through this in their real life. And both of these stories affected people who have actually. I've seen people on Twitter talking about who've gone through this personally. How each of these stories affected them. Yeah. But I just don't know if. This is a hard one.
It's tough. No, it's tough. It's tough sometimes. It's tough. But
address Walker's point. But I want to address Walker's point about Alzheimer's fatigue is that the Oscars don't have it because we gave it to Julianne Moore a couple of years ago for her Alzheimer's movie, and we just gave it to Sir Anthony Hopkins for The Father. So, and I think there might have been one or two others somewhere in there in the recent past. So with the award shows, they still seem to like rewarding Alzheimer's stories.
We're playing tennis here. Catch that. Oscar voters are completely different than. I feel like they take their jobs a lot more seriously. And I'm not saying that there's not actors who are watching these reels. But I know 80% of you in real life, and I know y'all not watching these because I've had actors say, "Will you fill out my voting for me?" Oh shit! This is real life. Oh, never mind.
You already said out there. You already said it.
Oh, okay. Well.
Yeah, I'm like, this is I can't edit that out. It's too
late.
You didn't name names though. You didn't name names.
No, and
here's the thing. Here's the thing, Walker. A lot of people know what goes on. A lot of us know in the industry what's going on. This is for the folks out there who are doing in that industry. A lot of things going on. Like you said, voting block. Like the voting block. I'm like, oh my god, they have voting blocks. Yeah, Y&R&B, we did all the time.
Which is why I'm going to go with Courtney Hope, because even though this is for Bold, she's on Y&R now. So you got two shows voting for you. And your new blood, and the supporting often goes to supporting. They give it to the new person a little bit more. So
I'm gonna go this time with Walker. Not this time Walker with Gerry and say Marla, only because almost the same thing. Y&R has a big one with this. I think sometimes they do this whole kind of like cumulative. They don't say it, but it's like it's nothing, folks out there, where they give someone an Oscar or an Emmy. They should have got it for something else years ago, but now it's like last hurrah. Let's give it to her. Let's honor her now. Here you go. So I think Courtney. I think your reasoning too is good too. So Courtney would be my second choice, but I think I'm gonna give it to Marla. I'm gonna go with Marla.
I could see I just don't think they're going to give it to Marla and Max. So I feel like if it's one or the other, I could see them giving it to Marla, and then. But yeah, I just don't see them giving it to both of them.
I agree with that. I agree with you on that one. I agree with that. They'll cancel each other out. Like you said, they'll just put somebody different. Okay. Well, that was a long discussion on that one. Okay, let's for supporting. Okay, now we're going because we're gonna do writing, directing, drama last. We're gonna do those last. But we're gonna go to now the lead categories. Make sure I have them all correct. There we go. It's lead actress, and then there's lead. So we'll do outstanding performance by a lead actor in a drama series. The nominees are Maurice Bernard as Sonny Corinthos, Steve Burton as Jason Morgan, Torsten Kay as Rich Forrester, my buddy Wally Kurth as Justin Kiriakis, and Dominic Semprona as Dante Falconeri. My first thoughts are there are so many snubs and so many people who should be on here that I can't even name everybody. Matthew Atkinson was now we're doing that. That's number one for me.
Yeah.
Because again, he took Impossible Story. And I think next year's gonna be his year. Because he's continuing this. If they do my calendar, well, to me, him and Annika, who's going to be my next thing for lead actress, those two drove a lot of story last year.
Yeah, I feel like last year he had a stronger. Thorson, yeah, he should have been replaced with Thorson. Thorson should be replaced with Matthew. Yeah, that should have been Matthew's spot. Yes.
Because my thing is, see, this year is a continuation of the mannequin thing. And I know what scene they could do this year for next year, and that's where he finally breaks down. And Annika's right there. I think that's gonna be a good scene for him. But you're right. No, him and Annika for months drove story. He affected everybody from Brooks to he was literally. That was to me was my. But I thought for support. Well, now that Rocker said, I'm like, yes, for lead actor, yeah, a lot of screen time. Yes, so that's my main thing there. Maurice Bernard, I don't know why he's nominated. To tell you the truth, I don't really know. And with Steve Burton too, and I love Steve. I mean, I know him personally. I love him and stuff. But I was trying to figure out what was his stuff like. I mean, I know it's Sonny's Death, I guess, right? Is that what they're doing last year? I can't remember. Why?
Oh yeah, that's.
Remember, there's not a lot going on last year because there was not something we did. Also, I will mention because Wally Kirk did an amazing job at Adrian's death. Oh my God, those scenes were, and again, he's on two soaps at the same time. But he gave it his all. Morning when they did the whole flat, he went back in time and showed what happened. That whole him and Freddie Smith, I mean, he just ran rings over Freddie just because he was such a seasoned actor. I thought, I'm glad to see him nominated. I'm so glad to see him nominated in the lead. It's where he belongs. I mean, he's doing a great job. So go ahead, Gerry. What are you gonna say?
Yeah, I didn't really think of Justin as being a real lead character. I thought he would have been better in the supporting. Nothing against him, but I just think, given the tiering of the show, he was better in the supporting role for this. I actually think Maurice Bernard's going to win the award because I think he's got everything in there. He's got a chance to be like the mean mobster guy. He could take one of those. He can take dealing with his father's death, and he also has the amnesia to play Rage. Yeah. The amnesia will give him a ranging storyline, and I think he does that. It's just like when they used to have an advantage for people who are playing multiple personality storylines. Maurice Bernard, it's like doing a multiple personality with this new Mike character. Steve Burton, I think some of the stuff I've seen Steve Burton do with Britta now, especially in the yesterday.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
When she actually posted them, it's like, are you proud of your ability to kill people? And he's like, no, but I'm glad I have those skills. I think his relationship with Britta could get him the award next year. Let's see, Torsten K. I mean, again, Matthew Atkinson. I mean, he was good enough. I mean, he did scenes well working against a doll,
Exactly.
Right. And playing with, as I call the doll, the bride of Chucky. And Dominic, I like to love his recovery type stuff, but I would actually, I'd like to see Dominic get it because he's, a newcomer pretty much to this list and getting the award. I thought that his recovery from the hospital, etc., was pretty good, but I think it's going to go to Maurice.
I forgot there was that whole his father coming to terms with that. Steve, I heard it was mostly the Jason Sam breakup scenes, which I don't give two shits about. So I was like, for me, I don't really care about that. And then Torsten, of course, it was all about him and his son. And he's solid. He's solid in what he does. I mean, I love Torsten. He's solid, but I thought Matt was the one that should have been in there. So Walker, what are some continuing thoughts about this?
I think Robert Scott Wilson should have been on this list.
Yes, that's what others. Yes,
because of last year he was the male lead of Days of Our Lives. So I think he is sorely missing on this list. To me, I think not to go on a tangent about him. I just think he's going to have a hard time getting taken serious as the actor because he is so beautiful that people just think, he's just like a good looking guy and not really seeing no, he's been putting into work.
I know he has. Before we go any further, I just want to say something really quick, little side note, folks. he posted an Instagram video yesterday where he's sweaty, he's working out, and he's like over the camera. And I was like, just slide underneath. I was like, that works for me. I just want to say that real quick. He is, and I met him several. I know him. I met him several times. Interviewed him. He's hot. I mean, you're right about that. It's hard because the pretty people, of course, it's always hard with them. But he's done an amazing job as this complex character. Like it's amazing work. So I agree with you guys with that. I agree with you. Go ahead. Well, I guess we're mentioning.
But as far as this, I'm kind of with Gerry. I'm torn between Maurice and Dominic. For some reason, like my gut, something's telling me to go with Dominic. I don't know. I feel like there's something, but I also feel like depends on where the puzzles fall. If Max Gale doesn't get supporting, then they'll give Maurice it, because they're not going to give
all three. Everybody.
They're not going to give the writing for the story. They're not going to do all that. So it's. I'm going to stick with Dominic. That's my first, and that's what I'm going with.
So Walker, is that you too, Gerry? You said you want to go with Dominic.
I wanted I wanted Dominic to win, but I think it's going to go to Maurice.
Okay. And I'm actually going to go. I think I'm feeling a certain way, the way Walker feels and the way you feel. I think Dominic may actually get it. Because he's also newer blood. Like when they gave it to Jacqueline Wood a couple of years ago, and there was all these actresses, and they're like, oh, because Carly didn't get it, Maura West didn't get it, they gave it to her. Like, and I love Jacqueline. Right? She's a beautiful person who actually does the work. She's good at Steffi. She's good, and she has some good stuff actually. But anyway, there's no story. I love me some Jacqueline Wood. I'm not met her yet. But I think they might get to Dominic. I'm gonna go with Dominic. Actually, I'm gonna go across the way. I think Maurice might get it anyway. But you're right. The dominoes have to fall a certain way for Maurice to get it. I'm going with
and I think Wally is close second, because if I'm thinking Dominic and Maurice cancel each other out, that GH block, that GH vote splits, and then that leaves the opening for someone else to come through. Actually, because I don't think anyone's voting for Steve.
Well, Candace thinks it'll be Torsten. Bold does that sometimes. Scott just won several times. I mean, Bold comes through sometimes.
Yeah,
and feels it. You know what I mean. Just going by how the past also. But I'm thinking they could give it to Dominic just because it's fresher and it's new. But somebody says Torsten. I got tired of Dominic, the whole complete the mission thing. I got complete the mission. My co-host Frank Moran hated that. He was over that too. But anyway, so I like to with a beard. That's much better. Okay, now it's time for the big one. We're gonna get to drama and all those in a second. But the big acting category: outstanding performance by a lead actress in a drama series, and the nominees are Melissa Claire Egan as Chelsea Lawson, Miss Jeannie Francis as Laura Collins, Miss Nancy Lee Grant as Alexis Davis, Miss Finola Hughes as Anne Devane and Alex Merrick, and Miss Jacqueline McGinnis Wood as Steffi Forrester. I'm not mad at this category. I feel like they all did such a great job on their shows last year. I have a hard time picking. I mean, there are some people I wish were on here too. Other people I wish, like I said, Annika Noel to me should have been on here just because, again, she drove story just as much as he did. So I felt like then she had to keep up the crying and the anger and all that stuff. And her and Jacqueline both are yin and yang. I feel like she should have been nominated also. But this list doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me at all. Jeannie, they finally gave her storyline. So I'm so happy that they're showing her doing stuff. Nancy Brown, of course, was the descent into drinking and kind of madness, so to speak. Finola Hughes, I mean, I feel like she just wears her character. She's so Anna, and she can play Alex, but she's so Anna. And her stuff with Finn, her and Valentine should get together. That's my whole thing. They should get together. Her stuff with Peter, all of that. It's just amazing. And Jacqueline, of course, delivered. I mean, even though she got over the drugs really fast, that was always my joke thing. But she also delivered last year too. The New Love and fight. All the stuff was going. Yes, it was. So I'll go with you this time, Walker. First, what are your immediate thoughts?
My two snubs, Laura Wright, because of the baby switch storyline and everything with Nell. I think she should have been in there. And Camilla Bannis, the fact that she continues to be disrespected and not acknowledged in these awards is unbelievable. Because
do you think, Walker? Do you think? And I know Camila. I love Camila. I love her. She's very outspoken, and she's.
Oh, that's all. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I call it out. I'm just saying. I was saying. Because Nancy Grant is very, very vocal and still gets nominated. But I think Camila, there's some problems in the industry with her, and that's why. But she's a great actress. She's a wonderful actress.
Yeah. Nancy, I feel like Nancy and Finola both next year, especially Nancy. Her special episode was this year. So yes. Nancy's is definitely a lock next year because everyone loved that special Alexis 25th anniversary episode. I'm gonna go with Jackie because she had it's gonna be the drug storyline. It's gonna be the whole sleeping with Liam. Is he the baby's father? Telling Finn, you're not the. Yeah, I'm going with Jackie.
She won a couple of years ago, so not far fetched. Now, Jay, what are your thoughts on all these? What are your thoughts?
This is the one. I mean, I am really rooting for Jeannie. They finally gave her a good storyline, and I really kind of resent the fact that here she is, one of daytime's leading women. I think she's 45 years in the business, at least from her anniversary in General Hospital, although that's not continuous. And all she has is a supporting, and I mean, I get angry about that. I think this year they gave her great stuff to do, stuff that, tags back to her history on the show of killing David, Hamilton, and then
her and Curtis were great on their adventures. They were great trying to figure stuff out. They were a nice pairing.
Yeah. I actually wouldn't mind them. My friend Scott and I talked about the fact that we say they actually kind of could be, at least for a short term. If she wasn't married to Kevin, I could see them because, the actor who plays Curtis, can I say that I don't know if he acts, aside from Trina, I don't know if he acts in any scene with any woman that he doesn't feel like he's slightly flirting with them. And it works.
You talked to the wrong person. The fans know how much my feel for Donnell Turner is. It's we have a hashtag called Jonelle, the fans started. So
he's awesome with it. And he just has that, natural energy that exudes. I say, Jeannie, my fear here is that having three very strong women from General Hospital in this category may cancel each other out, just the same as with the male actor category. But I think that, Nancy Legrand, you're right. I mean, maybe it's next year, and that she also builds her rehabilitation. Finola does have the double role part, but I think there's something about Jeannie, and finally sort of like with Marla Adams, even though Jeannie's considerably younger, finally really recognizing her as one of Daytime's leading ladies with an Emmy. And I mean, not supporting a full out best lead actress. And I said, those scenes, when she has those scenes with Jeff Korber, when she is both trying to stand up to him, but you can see the terror in her eyes and everything. And yeah, she is. Yeah, I want to see her. I want to see her win. I think she will win.
We also had the whole Nicholas thing, and Nicholas coming back.
Oh, and Lulu left last year.
And Lulu,
right.
Yes.
Yeah, that's okay. So that's she has. Yeah, it's, I would say between Jeannie and Jackie. I think next year for Missy also. I think.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Missy's been doing. Yeah, this year has been some of her best work.
I completely agree with that. And I was going to say, we haven't mentioned Miss Melissa. I'm thinking next year for her too. I think this is great, but I think next year is what she'll be getting it for. I'm with you guys too. I think it's between Jacqueline and Jeannie. I think on some level. I think Nancy again probably next year possibly. Finola's just always good. I think she's one of those steady,
consistent.
Consistent. She's always good. Maura was not nominated this year, you guys. Everybody's saying Jeannie Francis. They're saying it's the Jeannie Cyrus thing. I think that's the whole thing. And also she fought off Ryan. There was a Ryan thing, and so I. So which one did you choose, Gerry? I forgot to write it down. Which one did you choose?
Jeannie Francis.
Jeannie Francis. Shit, this is really tough because you both have good. I mean, it's good points. I mean, like you mentioned, canceling out. I'm like that could happen too, and it goes to. But Jacqueline, she makes you believe every scene. She just does. She sells it.
Here's something to go towards Gerry. Jeannie has of the canceling. Jeannie has the bigger name recognition.
Yeah, that's true.
So if someone's not voting for, if they're going to pick someone from GH, Jeannie Francis, I agree. And people are saying, chatting, going, everybody's saying it. Gina's saying listen next year. They're saying Missy next year. I was saying that. Yeah. No, we love Mara West, but she wasn't really. I mean, didn't have any huge things happen last year. I don't think. I mean, her and Nicholas falling in love. That was cute. But I don't think there was nothing really super meaty for her, I don't think, last year. So I don't
think that she hadn't done before, and that she does everything well. But I mean, like the best part was like the year when she had her face was burnt and she was scarred.
Oh, yeah.
That was amazing. Her first years as the mob boss.
Yes, got several. She's good. She got several. She's good. Don't worry about her. It's funny mention Laura Wright. I mean, I like Laura Wright. I mean, I do, and that's all I'll say. But it's fine, I guess. I gotta choose.
I know exactly where you're going.
You know where I'm going. I gotta choose. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna go. I went to Jeannie Francis to win because I love her to death. I'm gonna go with Jackie McInnes Squid too. I'm gonna go with it just because also voting block. She had good material. Last year when she did. I mean, I give Bold credit because Bold and Beautiful got a lot of flack. And I do the show on Sundays, and I have had almost all the actors on at this point, except for Jackie McInnes Wood. I want her on the show, but she was pregnant, had babies and stuff. So she was busy, so I'll get her on. But they really were the first ones to go out, folks, into the world of actually testing of taping again. They were the first out of almost all the shows. They were the first ones to go in studio and try it out, and it was trial and error. And they had mannequins and blow up dolls and spouses come in, but they were trying to put something together. And I give points.
Oh, that's actually to me a vote against Jackie. It's because Bold did the social distancing for way too long. I think it's going to be very awkward because it took me out. It took me out of the scene. I had to stop watching the show because. Talking over here.
That was fun. Yes, that was yes.
But then you're going to see everyone else's material. I don't know. Yeah. But also, I had a point, but I just lost it. Never mind.
It's probably shady. It's a shady point. But the thing is, when the drugstore line happened, I did say on the show, we're doing the after show, I kept saying it's kind of weird because she would have fell into her father's arms and hugged him. That didn't happen. Like he was standing behind her a lot of times, and she was doing her. Like they were doing this like moving around the Rosie's thing in the room. It was kind of like Liam's over here and he's over here, and then it was a little jarring. I mean, I agree with you on that. But I still think the acting was good though.
I think it showed how good the acting is that they were able to do these emotional beats without any physical interaction. And here's my thought was that Bold, their actors just know how to pick reels. I mean, at the end of the day, their actors just know how to pick reels.
They do. I agree with you on that. Okay, well, this leads into the last three categories, which are important to this because we're going to talk about them. We'll start with Outstanding Directing Team, all 4 shows. So speaking of directing, I guess that's Bold as one of those, obviously. General Hospital tried the whole handheld thing effect, which I didn't care. I don't care for really. They throw it out there every once in a while. Obviously, they're following him through I don't really care for all that. To me, it doesn't work. Young and Restless, it's seamless. They do the same. I mean, they Their direction is always the same. I don't see anything really different with them. And same with Bold. I mean, same with Days of Our Lives. Days of Our Lives, the direction was fine. Their sets and they're all pretty the same. I just think it was just General Hospital and Bold that were very different than the other two. So I don't know what you guys think. So Gerry, I'm going to ask you, what are you, any thoughts on this?
Well, I'm a huge General Hospital fan, so I lean very heavily towards them. I find Bold and the Beautiful really dynamic in the way it looks, and I love the way they go outside, inside a lot.
Yes. Yes.
General Hospital, I actually do like a lot of times that point of view perspective camera thing when the person is going through.
Okay.
Yeah. And also just in terms of direction, like I like the way that they made the nurse's ball this year look a little bit different than it has, than the other type scenes. And just
that's what was ball last year, right? That's right.
Yeah, and I just like the way that they stage a lot of the sets. And with regard to what Walker was saying about Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital at least put the people close together. Although for the first couple weeks, you didn't really have people making a real kiss, except for scenes that had been filmed pre-pandemic shutdown.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, I like the staging of the way they act. They managed to put the actors close enough together, but medically far enough apart. And then I just like the way that GH looks and handles things, and has all these different sets that look good, which I know is more of a set design thing, but still, General Hospital a lot of their scenes feel like they're really taking place in real life places versus a set.
Well, I'll tell you, it was funny about, General Hospital. I'm happy to see that the focus at the hospital again. It's kind of like, the focus, they had a lot of hospital scenes. Those sets were used a lot in the last year or so. I thought this is kind of cool because it's actually the hospital. And having Cyrus take over the hospital is kind of interesting, and having everyone there. I mean, everything takes place at it's called General Hospital. Days of Our Lives, I mean, they try to be outside, kind of, but they're not outside. Like General Hospital actually goes outside, Bold goes outside. But, them and Y&R try to create these indoor-outdoor sets, and they're okay. I mean, Horton Town Square is supposedly outside. It's not anything spectacular. It's whatever. But I don't know, Walker. What are you thinking?
I'm going with Bold, and I'm going with Bold because of COVID. Bold was the first show, period, prime time, daytime, anytime, that was able to went back to production and kind of led the way of like, hey, this is how you can do things. And I think they deserve all the credit for that. I think that sentiment is gonna go through, maybe shine through also for the awards, that they realized that they were the first that actually get out. And it was at a time where we still, didn't know what was going on, and the numbers were, still on the high side, and people were scared, and they made it work.
I'm going Bold also, because it's the same reason. That's why I'm going Bold also. They actually had to learn how to direct differently. Also,
yeah.
Good. So I don't know, but Gerry, I'm sorry. Which one are you going for direction?
General Hospital. I mean, I'm a big General Hospital fan. It's although, let's say, I wouldn't bother me if Bold won, and I do, like the way the Bold looks.
It's bright. It's bright and cheery.
Perfect for something set in California.
Yes. Now, outstanding writing team, very interesting. It's 3 out of 4 soaps. It's Bold and Beautiful, General Hospital, and Young and the Restless. I thought, so for me, the biggest snub was Days of Our Lives. I felt that, for me personally, Days of Our Lives changed the game when they went a year ahead. And I thought the writing of actually going backwards to show us what had happened was, I thought that was very clever. It was a lot of work. I mean, Rhonda had a lot of work to do, but to show us they went ahead, but also went back. And to me, I would say that they would have won for me. I would have voted for them as number one. I thought it was something very unique and different. And some of the stories were heartbreaking. Some of them were funny. It moved story along. Some made no sense. Some didn't make sense. I mean, to me, it would have been Days. And the fact they're not even nominated, it's very interesting. I don't know what that means. So I'll start with Gerry this time. What are your thoughts with some of these.
Yeah, seeing days not on the list is kind of like, I felt bad for the show. It was like, okay, you're the one kid in class not invited to the birthday party.
Right.
It felt like I just thought it would be an automatic, to you only have 4 slots, fill in the 4 shows.
Right.
I didn't think this was Days' strongest. Yeah, I did like the jump in time and the going back and stuff. I still, as I say, I always lean towards General Hospital because General Hospital is the only one of those the shows that, because of the writing and the way it moves along, I watch every single day. I hate to miss it. Other ones I can actually miss a couple days here and there, not mind as much. Young and the Restless did pull itself back pretty well, and Bold and the Beautiful did have some interesting, but I think sometimes part of my problem with Bold and the Beautiful is that it gets a little bit, it's writing too caught up with 3 or 4 characters and almost ignores the rest of the cast. I think General Hospital does a really good job of writing for the whole canvas of the show. So I'm going to give it to General Hospital.
Yeah, I mean, we all know this, and people don't know this at home. You got to rotate people. I mean, they have large casts, they got to rotate them. So that's why some of your favorites are on more than others. There's guarantees, and there's all kind of, I won't get into the weeds on that. There's a lot of different things that go on. Why you see certain people on more than others. But I will say, with the 3 that are here, again, Bold took some bold choices. But my problem with Bold too is that a lot of times it's repetitive story. It's like, okay, so now Liam sleeps with Steffi again. Like, after all they went through, like, it kind of bugs me a little bit that they kind of, my biggest thing is Brooke and Ridge. It's like, those two, they had the whole Shauna thing, and that was kind of interesting. But then it was like, well, no, I quit in there somehow. Like, it was all, and now Eric's like, it's just, some of that was really, that's why this year, I think next year will be interesting, is the whole Carter and Quinn thing, Quarter. I'm all about it. That was different. Those 2 characters never talked to each other, really. It's like, and then they actually wrote something different. It wasn't the same 4 people stripping each other. I mean, it's like literally just going ring around the rosy. It's like, you sleep with them, and then you sleep with her, and then you sleep with him, and then they all slept together. I think that's different. So that's my problem with Bold too. There's times when they repeat stuff. But Walker, what are you thinking?
Well, the Days thing is very glaring. You guys talked about that, and it's also interesting because Days won the Writers Guild for Best Daytime Drama.
Ding 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 ding.
So that's even more. I am going to say, I want to say GH because it was the most consistently watchable of the last year. But the only thing against GH is, for writing, they traditionally don't pick the good scenes. They just don't pick good scenes writing wise. For whenever I don't remember when the last time they won a writing award, but they don't pick the right scenes. So I'm gonna go with Bold again.
Being bold, going with Bold.
I thought I was going to finally have you agree with me once tonight, Walker. You teased me.
I know you almost got there. I'm going with Gerry with GH. I think it's going to be GH. I think it's going to be GH. Because you're right, it was consistent. It was consistent last year. It was consistent. So that was that. Well, the last one, Outstanding Drama Series. Right? You know the nominees are the four shows. So overall, what do you think? I mean, which show do you think should win? And I'll start this time. What are you, Walker? What do you think? Which one should win overall?
That
is tough.
That is tough.
Because again, depending on what they submitted, I'm assuming for each Young and the Restless in General Hospital, they submitted the Alzheimer's death episode. Probably. Do you agree or not? I mean, I wonder if that's one of them.
Yeah. Definitely. I think that's pretty much, that's pretty much why they did it. Who won last year? Do you remember?
Was it Days? No. Who? You guys in the chat room? Who won last year? Everybody's saying GH, but who won last year? I forgot who won last year. Was it General Hospital?
Sorry. 1 second. Young and the Restless won last year.
Restless won last year. Ooh, interesting.
No, that's 2019. Well, they don't have it updated.
Oh, yeah. So in the chat room, you guys usually know. Tell me, Who won Best Show last year? I can't remember. I always want to say it was either General Hospital or I want to say Days. It wasn't Days. Days won a few years ago, didn't it?
Yeah, a couple of years ago they won.
Because I would give it to Days just again for the time for just do something very different and usually they utilize a lot of their cast. They really do. There's varied stories on there. I don't know. Days won last year, I think someone says. I'm trying to think. Did they win that? That was my first show.
Young and the Restless won last year.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going with Bold. Because Bold has not won since 2011.
Oh dang.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I'm going with, because they're overdue. They're overdue for a win.
Oh, everybody said YNR won last year. Yeah, they won last year. He looked it up. Okay. Well, Gerry Waggett, what say you?
I'm going to say General Hospital. I think it, as you said, it was consistent, and I think in terms they did a couple special episodes during the course of last year. That, and I think sometimes, of course, sometimes it feels that when these shows do the special episodes, like, okay, well, here is the Emmy show, just like sort of recently on General Hospital, the Sean Donnelly death, which became like a self-contained murder mystery.
Yeah.
Using a lot of like old-time cast members who weren't even on the show anymore. General Hospital does do that very well, but there were just so many days on General Hospital, like so many weeks I just had to tune in every single day. And it's the one show when I say, oh, please give me 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
I will say Young and the Restless deserves to win it. Simply because of the classic episodes that they aired this summer. They aired the most amazing episodes that made you realize how the episodes from 20, 30 years ago were better than any of the shit that they got on right now. So they deserve.
I agree. And I got to pick mine. I would say Bold and Beautiful. I want to say that, and I want to say that I worked with both the folks at Bold and YNR, and they last year they really worked with me to bring the actors on to promote those classic episodes, especially YNR. Me and Matt Kane, shout out to Matt Kane. I had Melody Thomas Scott on and Sharon Kane. They had Rivals Week. They had this week. There was some good stuff. They had some good classic episodes. I mean, like they went back in time, folks, to the 70s. Into the 80s. I was on my Snapchats and my things showing the openings alone. I was like, oh, the 90s sexy opening and the big hair, they should win for best flashbacks and best episode. I agree. Why not really? Because General Hospital, it wasn't before Ron Cabo. I wasn't before Frank Valentine. They didn't show it. I was like, why didn't they show the classic ones? They're showing all the nurses' balls from 2014.
And it's so crazy because people keep using the excuse of, oh, because of the music and licensing. I'm like, Young and the Restless had just as much music and music in those episodes. And Young and the Restless is a Sony soap. General Hospital is owned by Disney. So that excuse doesn't fly with me.
Yes. So now I am clipping. We have I'll put them in the vault. So for after, like last year, after the Emmys, you both will have to come back on. We will see who was correct and how we feel, and also how actually they do it this year. Maybe we're interested to do this year. Maybe I'll see you in person, Walker. Would you do them again if they do in person?
Yeah, I just it's just too many things are lining up. For one, California it will be fully open.
Yeah.
Two, it's on CBS, and I just can't imagine that. And also that same weekend is BET Awards, which is also being done by Viacom CBS, and theirs is in person, and they, you have to be vaccinated. So I feel like that's going to be the same situation with the Emmys, and they tend to be very quiet and they keep things close to their chest until closer to the date. Yeah. But I do believe it's going to be in person, and I do believe that they will have a limited carpet.
Okay.
But also,
I'm sorry. Are they doing digital? Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Are they doing the digital soap separately? I know that the best digital soap is on here, but that's the only one.
That's my question too. They mean now they're in July, aren't they? The whole technical awards and stuff.
I thought the main one usually goes on the telecast, and then like the actors ones go on.
Yeah, we haven't heard those yet. I think it was in July. Because shout out to me. I want Studio City to win. Those my buddies. I thought it was amazing. They did an amazing second half of the season. I think Sarah Joy Brown should be nominated for Best Actress on that, but that's another story. But we'll see how those nominations come out. But yeah, they announced the big ones. Of course, The Bay, which always gets nominated, Beacon Hill, Studio City, and one.
Oh, it's the mom. It's the one with Lawrence Hilton Jacob on it.
Right, I can't think of the name of it right now.
Something like A Family Torn Asunder or something.
Yeah.
House Divided.
Yeah, the one with the black folks. The one with the black folks.
Yeah, it's called A House Divided. That's fine too, but I wanted Studio City to win, so that's another story.
Me too. And actually, what I want that they are nominated for this time around is just a quick side note: the lighting on that show is nominated, and it's nominated up against like Y&R and something else. I just think the lighting on Studio City is amazing, and it captures the real rawness of what's going on.
I'm going to tell you, folks, you know, Studio City, the second half of the season. Well, first of all, episode 6, Patricia Darbo gives performance of her lifetime. And then episodes like 9, 10, and 11, it's Tristan Rogers, who won an Emmy last year for his portrayal on there. But Tristan Rogers and Sarah Joy Brown give you the performances of their life. I'm not even joking. And they're friends of mine. I'm not just saying that because they're friends of mine, but they give you full on performance. And the camera work, everything. My buddy Timothy Woodward Jr. I think it's as good as anything else that's out there. I think it's really well done, and so I think it has great caliber talent on it too. So
it's all I got to tell you. It can be absolutely hysterical. I think Carolyn. I think I would give Carolyn Hennessy a supporting actress award for Studio City. Yeah, because she's hysterical in that show.
As Gloria, she plays that soap producer very well. And my buddy Justin Torkelson, who's back, plays her nephew, and Ron Moss has a really hilarious role on it. He's really, I never saw him that funny before.
Is he playing himself on that?
A version, as I talked to Ron and I'm friends with Sean. We're good friends. We talked about that. It's a version.
Because Sean does that a whole baby come back joke in Ron's face. So I'm thinking, okay, is this like when people like Matt LeBlanc on episodes was playing a version of himself?
Yes. Kind of. He's playing a version of it. It's kind of because him and his wife, Devna Vasquez, she's in a scene. It's kind of like a hyper version of himself. But it's hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. But if you're not, it's on Amazon Prime, folks. If you're not watching it, you need to go. I think you need to run. I do the after show of that too on this network, so you can check out my after show. I interview the actors and we have a good time, so you can check that out also. But it's 11 episodes, and they're short from 9 minutes to 15 minutes. They're long and they're great. So I say check them out. The Bay is good too. The Bay, as always, I know Gregory J. Martin, all them. They win tons of awards. They're very well known in the industry. Beacon Hill is our girls, Martha Byrne. I know our girls, Martha Byrne.
Not to Martha. That was
no, not to Martha. We love Martha. Oh, we love Martha.
Yeah, we love.
I know where the Rolling Eyes went to. I know what that was for.
Yeah.
I'm saying Beacon Hill has our girls, Crystal Chappelle and all them. I love them, and so Hillary Smith and all them. They're all part of that. And that's good too. So I'm just saying there's other dramas out there that could have a story.
Speaking of also being nominated, I have one person who I just popped in my mind that should have been nominated for guest. And James, this is going to shock you when I say this person was snubbed. GH Chloe Lanier should have been nominated in the best guest for what she did for Nail last year.
Can I get my jaw?
Exactly.
Okay, so folks, a little side note. Because she's a friend of mine. I love her. He knows I love her to death. He was never a fan.
Ever.
So I'm like, okay, so I have to ask you. So you really thought what? I can't even talk. I'm a host. I can't even fucking talk. So I am really shocked. So what changed your mind, Walker?
If we doing the guest, because first I was like, maybe I should bring her up for supporting, but I was like, no, she was on maybe less than what Brianna was on, And
right.
And I was thinking of just some of the scenes, like the scene with her on the, with Carly on the cliff. The girl, she deserves to have been on the guest nominating. And I think if she had been on there, she should have won. And this is I can admit.
Seriously, I mean, that'd be like me saying that that Wes Ramsey should win for something, and everybody knows what I am not a Peter fan from day. I've been not going from day one. So this is how shocking it is for me. I'm like, to hear this, I'm like, wow. You know how much I've been championing her, and you're like just total opposite. You're just not.
I think she should have been on there. I think she should have won it for what she did with Nell last year.
I know Gerry likes Nell too. He was a Nell fan.
I was told I've liked Nell from the very beginning, and I even liked her when she was playing
on Army Wives. She was on Army Wives. She was good too. But when she came to GH, she played the mother first. She came on to the flashback. She played Sister Patricia, the older Sister Patricia, that Dee Wallace plays. Oh, right. Yes, right.
Because Laura Wright played the mother.
I played the mother. That's right.
Of course, the one thing that drives me crazy when they have her cast as the mother, and Luke says, "Oh, you look just like our mother." I'm like, that's fine because nobody figured out she was related to you when she first came to town, played by Sarah Joy Brown.
Yes, that's another story. Other story, of course.
Yes.
I'm still in shock with what you just said, so I'm like, we're gonna end the show on that because I don't want the show going. I want him to change his mind or nothing. So we're gonna send the show there. But the show airs, I think, June 25th. We'll keep you posted what's going on this. I'll keep you posted what's going on. And maybe I'll be there again at the red carpet. I mean, who knows if they do something live, they allow people in there. So we'll see. We'll keep you posted on what's going on there. And thank you guys for your predictions, your thoughts. I'll come back on. And I know, Gerry, you're not on any other social media except for Facebook. So,
no. But I do have a short story out in the current issue of Mystery Weekly magazine.
There you go. Check that out.
That basically all came to me while riding in the back of an Uber a couple of years ago.
Oh wow! Congratulations.
Comes where it comes. Comes where it comes. Yes. Like that's how it is. But Walker, do you anybody to follow you? And if you do, where can they follow you? So anyway, so I'm James Lott Jr.
No. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so you go ahead. What do you?
No. Could you do your?
You anybody to follow you or no? You're like,
I'm good. You know what? I would like you if you don't have to follow me, but check out since we're plugging podcasts, check out the B. Scott Show. We are the number 4 podcast in all entertainment on Apple iTunes, all against some big heavy hitters. So
congratulations. I'm good.
Come check us out.
Go check him out. That's B. Scott, you guys. So go check that out. You can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. is sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. JLJ Media is everywhere, folks. So you can't miss it.
Everywhere.
I mean, seriously, everywhere. I worked very hard to blanket everything.
It's when you were listing how many shows you had, James. Unbelievable.
I worked hard.
Yeah.
That's why I'm taking.
That's wow.
I know. I don't know how I did it. Somehow I did it. And I already got like 20 shows in the can that we haven't released yet. And I got other shows I'm writing all the time. And
your holiday stuff is probably going to come up again this year.
Yeah, it is. Christmas in June begins next week. So Christmas in June on JLJ Media begins next week. And of course, we'll be back in. And I have a book. My 41st book's coming out next month. And my new album's coming. My 7th album's coming out next month also. So I'm finishing up the album cover right now. So yes.
And if y'all people learn how to behave your damn selves, maybe the Hardys will come back. But y'all get on there acting like a damn fool on Twitter. Complete damn fool over some
over
Hallmark shit.
It's
y'all go outside and read a book. Arguing over a short story.
The Hardys thing has been crazy. I've been in the middle of it, of course. So it's been very crazy the last couple of weeks. So I've been dealing with that also. It's a crazy entertainment world. And I want to think everybody have a good Memorial Day weekend. My shout out is to all people who've lost their lives trying to protect us in this country. I don't take that lightly at all. I have family members who have died serving the country. I have family members who came back. I say support the troops that come home. There's PTSD, mental issues, suicide. I feel like we should just give them whatever they need. I feel like we don't treat our veterans enough. That we should. That's just my opinion about that. I just feel like we need to do more. There's Wounded Warriors Project, Tickets for Troops. There's a bunch of places that take care of homeless veterans, and there's a lot. They did a lot for us to be able to sit here and do these little frivolous shows, right? You guys call us frivolous, but that's the reason why we could do them, because they're out there doing also humanitarian work too out there and around the world. So I want to give a shout out to them. But the ones who lost their lives, I want to make sure their families, my heart goes with you. And everyone have a good weekend, and we'll see you the next show. Thank you.
All right.